stack up to other states you looked at in terms of the volume and over a similar period of time?
So you may know Pennsylvania doesn't have campaign contribution limits, and we have found more given there, 8 million since 2001. Catherine made an important point about the split in giving to the parties in Ohio. I do think it's really interesting in the chart we put in here, I think it's on page 7, that there are contributions to Democratic county party committees, and that suggests to me that the lines of communication are open on some issues that are going to be decided by counties and municipalities. And you know, the fracking report we did in Pennsylvania in 2010 found, I think it was about 75% of the fracking money going to Republicans, 25% to Democrats, and I think one reason is that Ed Rendell, the Democrat, was still in power. So I wouldn't necessarily, you know, label one party or the other, because I think often this works as a horse race. And in 2010, they saw a bunch of competitive horses, and they spread their bets around. Catherine is the real expert on our work around the election next year, but maybe they don't see a horse race here yet. That might be part of it. But it is, of all the states that I've written these reports on, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, helping in New York, I've never seen things swing so heavily to the Republicans.
How does spending by the fracking lobby in Ohio compare to other industries in Ohio, like coal and utilities, healthcare?
That's an excellent question. So the JLEC, as I'm sure you know, puts out annual lobbying reports totting up spending by different industries, and I think for last year the single biggest spender was the wholesale beer distributors. What's amazing is that the number 2 spender is the Ohio Environmental Council. So, you know, what's going on, you know, here is somehow it is the financial might of an environmental group crushing, you know, the fracking industry. And if you connect that to a third point, they've got this great list that they put together of what were the most lobbied upon bills. And for last year, it was Senate Bill 315, the bill dealing with the disclosure of fracking chemicals. So there's a whole lot of activity going on out there that we don't know about. You know, for the whole picture, you know, all of the industries added together, you'll see the figure we put at the end. All lobbyists in Ohio, 2011, 2012, reported just over 1 million, and in Pennsylvania the comparable figure was over 330 million.
One of the ways that, if you go to followthemoney.org, what they do is they put together and they looked at industries. So they actually put the natural gas and coal people together in those totals. And they are in 2012, for example, they were the top economic sector. And I think we all know that, you know, Boyce & Company, we have a sense that the coal, especially to the political parties, you know, those are significant donors. I think one of the ways to think about this kind of report is to think, you know, that whole notion of it's another energy, you know, a sector of the energy industry that's really interested in reducing regulations, avoiding paying taxes, and all sorts of other kind of policy things. And so we need to be very aware that this industry, the natural gas industry, is just part of that puzzle, and it doesn't mean that they're the biggest player in town.
And back on the issue of partisanship, and we believe there are bipartisan solutions to these problems. I mean, it was Ken Blackwell around 2000 who was behind then a very good lobbying reform bill to get better disclosures of all of these expenditures. I mean, I hope that one thing our report suggests is now is the time, because of everything that's at stake with the fracking debate, now is the time to do more to empower people to see all of this money being spent.
Well, and I think you all, the veteran State House reporters will get a kick out of this. So in 2000, this was an idea that Ken Blackwell heavily promoted, that notion of, you know, that we're missing these kind of expenditures, meaning how much is actually spent, you know, in terms of compensation for these lobbyists. Because if it's about access, the real money that matters is the money that's the compensation. That's what they do in Pennsylvania. That's what they do at the federal level. Why are we missing it here in the state of Ohio? That was the point where we were just kind of beginning a new wave of legislators because of term limits. And the person who carried the bill was Jeff Jacobson. Now, you all know he's now a lobbyist. Other questions?
Sorry about